With Rocket League going free to play this summer, I'm expecting to see many people playing the game for the first time. This video is going to help people who are just starting out in the game and help them learn the basic mechanics that will be used in every aspect of the game. These are the bare bones basics of Rocket League. So before we get into talking about how to get good at this game, I would like to point something out, that this game is unlike any other game, which means you will have no muscle memory that will carry over into this game. You'll be starting off at the same level that everyone else started off, and it will take time for you to get to a very high level of skill in this game. There is no shortcut, it is nothing but time and repetition that will help you get there. The first things you're going to want to do before you do anything else in this game is going to be change your camera settings, video settings, and controls. You're going to want to change your camera settings because the default camera settings are quite terrible and have been known to give people motion sickness. The first thing you're going to want to address is camera shake. Turn this off. Seriously, you'll thank me later. And the rest of these, here are my camera settings. If you want to copy them, you can go ahead. If not, you can find professional camera settings just by looking up professional camera settings, and those are very good ones to go off of. The next thing to address is going to be your video settings. You're going to want to keep these as low quality as you possibly can bear, because the higher the frame rate that you have, the better you're going to be at the game and the quicker you can react. And the last thing you're going to want to start to look at is your controls. Now, I would highly recommend that you get yourself a controller for this, Xbox controller or PS4 controller, it really doesn't matter. It's completely up to preference. I prefer the PS4 controller, it just fits in my hands better. But you're going to want to find the control layout that fits best for you. I have mine different than the default controls because they did not work at all for me, because you have to use your hands in a very weird position to be able to boost and handbrake at the same time. So these are my controls. You can copy them if you'd like, or you can change them to be your own, or again, you can find yourself some professional controls that also work very well. Now that we've changed your camera settings, video settings, and your controls, go ahead and hop in and play a game. It doesn't matter if this is against bots or players, either one works, but I want you to keep in mind that this is a game. This is supposed to be fun to play, so that's why I want you to hop in and play a game, because not everything is about practice. You know, this is something that you have to enjoy as well. Whether or not this is the first game that you've actually played in Rocket League, you should be noticing a few things. The cars are very weird to control. It's really hard to read where the ball is going, and it's hard to make your car go exactly where you want it to go. It's not bad if this is what you're noticing as well. This is exactly where you should be starting. This is what everyone starts at. But this is what we're going to be learning here at the beginning, and this is what is going to be the foundation for any mechanics that you learn in the future. Now that you've seen some gameplay and you know what needs to be worked on, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to work on those. So go ahead and hop on down here to some free play training. This is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time if you're trying to get better at this game. The first thing we're going to be working on in here is how to drive your car. The first thing I want you to take note of is that you have two camera modes. You may not have noticed this in the game, but if you hit the car cam or ball cam toggle switch, which for me is triangle on my controller, it'll switch between focusing on the ball and focusing on your car. Now, ball cam is going to be your best friend. You're going to be using it probably most of the time. You're going to be using car cam when you're trying to find boosts, but you're going to be using ball cam pretty much the rest of the time. However, you will notice that if you have ball cam turned on, it becomes more difficult to drive your car when you're not currently facing directly at the ball. This is the hardest thing that you will learn, and you will need to be practicing this more than driving with car cam. Make sure that you practice going both forward and backwards using the acceleration and deceleration buttons, and then go ahead and add boost into the mix using your boost button, which for me is R1 on my controller, and this makes you go faster more quickly, and this is the most common way to get to what is supersonic speed. This is where you have the wind flying by your screen and you have these trails behind your car. Now that you understand how to control your car, I want you to go ahead and hit the ball. Don't worry about scoring or anything yet, just go ahead and hit the ball. Now that the ball is moving, go ahead and keep on hitting it. Don't reset the ball, just go ahead and keep on chasing after it. If you keep on hitting it while it's moving, it'll teach you how to read the ball and how to hit the ball while it is moving. These are very crucial skills because these will set you apart from other people that are new to the game. Now that you've spent a little bit of time in the free play training, go ahead and hop out and go over to custom training. I have the code to a training pack that I made down in the description if you want to go ahead and add that into your game, so that way you have access to the pack for this next part. Now go ahead and hop on into the pack. You'll notice that this one is to help with reading bounces. Newer players really struggle with reading the bounces of the ball. You don't need to score it, you just need to hit the ball. That is the most important part, but you need to make sure that you hit it after the first or second bounce. And what you will notice is that if you come in a little bit too late, you can jump right after the ball bounces to get that extra little bit of height to make sure that you actually hit the ball. If you work on these trainings consistently and frequently, then you'll speed through these lower ranks and you'll be able to get to newer, more difficult mechanics in no time. The next thing we're going to cover are the game modes that you can play. There are three main modes that exist both as a casual playlist and a competitive playlist, and those are 3v3s, 2v2s, and 1v1s. 3v3s develop your team play skills and game sense with other players on the field. It allows for more mistakes because you have players to back you up, and chances are this is going to be the game mode that has your highest rank. 2v2s develop both individual skill and team play skills equally. You can depend on your teammate, but you have to develop your recoveries more than you would in 3s, and this is possibly the most popular game mode with higher ranked players because it best shows your all-around skill. 1v1s develop only your individual skill. You have no teammates to depend upon, and your recoveries are the deciding factor on whether or not you win. This will probably be your lowest rank. Solo standard is just 3v3s without parties. This is not a very popular mode and it tends to be rather toxic, but you can certainly play this mode. I have noticed that the rotations and teamwork is slightly off from the normal 3s. I can't really tell what the difference is, but it's certainly different somehow. The rest of these game modes are not so much competitive as they are just kind of casual modes that are ranked competitively, and they are Rumble, which is just a 3v3 with power-ups, Drop Shot, where you shoot the ball into the floor by breaking the floor, Hoops, which is 2v2 basketball, and Snow Day, which is 3v3 hockey. For each of these competitive game modes, there's certain rotations that should be followed. In 3v3s, you should go towards the ball, attempt to make a play, and whether or not you actually are able to hit the ball or do something useful, you should rotate away from the play to get behind your teammates. And before you push in for another play, you should allow your teammates time to attempt to make their own play. At lower ranks, this will probably leave you waiting away from the play a lot, but it means that when the ball breaks free, you will always be there to take advantage of it. The rotation in 2v2s is very similar to that of the 3's rotation, except if you can still do something with the ball after you've made a play, you should follow through with it and then rotate. When you are outside of the play, you'll want to rotate closer to the center of the field and stay closer to the play than you normally would in a 3's game. There isn't really a specific rotation in 1s, you just need to make sure not to overcommit or go for shots that you know you'll miss. When the opponent has the ball, your goal is to keep them from bringing it to the center of the field, because this is the easiest place to take a shot from. Now you may be asking, where can you go from here? There are many things you can do to improve yourself. There is always practicing frequently, but there is also watching others play, watching tutorials, and playing in competitive. You can always practice while you're finding a match, when you don't have internet, or when you're on a losing streak and you don't want to risk your rank. When you watch other people play, you should always watch people who are only a few ranks above you, but watching professionals play is also a good idea. I would recommend watching the professionals SquishyMuffinz, Lethamyr, and Rizzo. For tutorials, I would check out SunlessKhan, Kevpert, and Sir Timbers. And of course, the best person you can ever watch for Rocket League stuff is Neat Mike. Whenever you have time to actually play some Rocket League games, make sure that you're playing in competitive as much as you can, because you have a rank on the line when you do this, and that'll drive you to play at your best. Now that's all the basic bare bones tips that I have for this video, but I'm planning on making more tutorials in the future, so be sure you click that subscribe button to be notified when I release those. And if you found anything I said in this video helpful, be sure to leave a like. So thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you guys in the next video.